about 5:15. It's supposed to be dawn. Feels kind of like dawn. Starting the Kepler Track. Definitely drizzled a little bit on the 7-minute car ride from Teanu to where I stayed last night. So yeah, clouds are looking pretty ominous. There's definitely some blue sky mixed in there too. So we'll see what happens. But yeah, 30 miles, 7,000 feet of gain. Should be a big day. Let's go. New Zealand day 5. All right. Just a couple miles into this so far. Sunrise officially in about 5 or 10 minutes, but definitely getting lighter. I've only tripped on 2 routes so far because I'm an athlete. Almost a third right there. But yeah, it starts out just along the lake. Looks like the scary-looking clouds have mostly gone away. I saw a family of deer at the lake at the beginning. It's just like you can't make this stuff up. Looks actually pretty similar to the Cascades, if I'm being honest. Just kind of green moss growing on everything. Bunch of ferns. Beautiful. The majority of the vert happens in the first 9 miles. So I'm kind of trying to mentally prepare myself for that. It's like 4 or 5 plus K of vert, which is proper. But yeah, great morning so far. All right, about 7.7 into this. Just got out of the tree line. There's a rainbow, sure, why not? Perfect hike. You know, the incline's actually like the perfect grade. Like, it's definitely a little steep, but smooth and gradual. There's a sign when you start the incline that says 4.5 hours to the Luxot or whatever it's called. If you're fit, you can do it in half that. So that's 2 hours 15. I'm competitive. That means if I get to the hut at 8:30 this morning, I'm considered a fit tramper, as they would say in New Zealand. There's the lake. And based on my time right now, I'm gonna beat that by a lot, which feels good. I'm competitive. Beautiful. This looks a little ominous. About 10 miles in, past the first hut where people spend the night. If we're doing this as like a 2 or 3 night thing. I was gonna stop and eat and chill for a minute, but there was 20 high schoolers gearing up to go. I was like, nope. Refilled a little water, just kind of kept going. Well, after I passed the tree line, literally from right when I stopped the last video, got windy and drizzly, pretty cold. But that hut was the first time I'd seen somebody. Literally had done 9 miles, 9.5 miles before I saw the first person. And since I just kind of kept going, I didn't really, right after I left the hut, I passed someone, and then I guess there's one person up ahead there, but pretty much nobody for me. All right, keep this going. Also, I forgot to mention the goal was to get to that hut by 8:30 in the morning, which would have been half the time based on what was suggested. Got there at 8:15. Super pumped about that. Wind died down, drizzling stopped. I think there's one more really steep section right now up to this peak, whatever it's called, and then relatively smooth sailing, mainly downhill for the next 20 miles, which is like ideal. 3.5 miles flat, 6 or 7 miles or more vert, and then like flat downhill for the next 20. Nice. All right, 13 in, which is, if I end up doing 30, it's more in a third. Finally got a little break in the clouds. See a little lake. There's been some incredible ridge hiking and saddles. And visibility has been like 20 feet. But it is what it is. Still a good one. Enjoying it. Still climbing. 13 in, more vert. Still getting drizzled on. Alright, so wind finally died down a little bit, stopped raining, and it cleared up a little bit. I mean, not a lot, but got some better visibility over here. Maybe not so much to my right. But good timing because it's a nice little ridge section right here. I mean, I don't know, I'm a nerd, but I love this stuff. Just gorgeous. Still just about 13 and a half in. So I just hiked that little ridge section. Visibility's getting better. Still drizzling a little bit. It's pretty cold if I'm being honest. No such thing as bad weather, only bad gear. I'm staying on brand by not having enough layers on. But yeah, it's all single track. Just ridge hiking for days. It's incredible. There's a hut up here. You probably shouldn't really hear me. This type of ridge. All right, it's a little after 11 a.m. About 17 miles into this, so more than halfway back under the tree line. Warming up nicely. I can feel my fingers and face again, which is always a great feeling. So it's like 10 miles to start to get up to the ridge hiking. Maybe 11 or 12, and then maybe 4 or 5 miles just literally ridge hiking. The first 2/3 of those, first 4, let's say it's 6 miles of ridge hiking, the first 4 pretty much couldn't see anything. Just, you're up in the fog or clouds or whatever it is, just really poor visibility today at least. Obviously unfortunate, but the last couple miles, great visibility. Just gorgeous. It just looks golden. Just golden hills. You're up on this ridge. It's windy. It's drizzling a little bit. It's cold, but it is beautiful. So that was definitely a highlight. And this forest walking is great too. I mean, it's beautiful. Again, it reminds me a little bit of the Cascades and then, you know, my Oregon, Washington, BC. And then some of these trees actually, and I saw them on the way up too, remind me, some of them a little bit of, maybe not these, but up a little for kind of like the Big Sur style. I don't know the names of anything, but. So yeah, I got about, let's say 13 to 15 left. It's gonna be pretty, you know, downhill flat. There's still some vert left. there's no way I've already done 1,600 feet of vert, because I'd be way more wrecked than I am. I passed that first group of like high schoolers, a couple Ricky randos, actually this girl from Colorado, chatted with her a little bit. And then there's been 2 people that have been coming the other way, which I passed. But, you know, considering this is, you know, the early part of high season for New Zealand, and this is one of the top hikes in the country, you know, maybe Milford is number 1. This has to be top 5, if not top 3. You know, pretty awesome to be doing this relatively by myself and still feel good. You know, I still have a sandwich, some protein bars, some gummies. It's 11. I mean, still think I'm going to finish at the first exit instead of doing the last 6 miles of flat walking. Kind of I think it's along the road. I don't even know. But I've heard it's not really that nice. I just don't need to tack on that many more miles, especially if I want to do something tomorrow and something big the day after. So yeah, I mean, don't want to jinx it, but I feel great so far. Averaging, you know, barely over 20 minutes a mile. But most of that was uphill and a lot of stopping for photos, especially on the ridge. Never cleared up on like the ridge. I was like, stop, photo, video. It looks so cool. Man, look at all this moss. This is just, I mean, isn't that like the Cascades? Totally is. All right, quick update. About 21 and a half into this. Based on all trails and everything, it's just flat. I've got, I guess, maybe 8.5 of like relatively flat. Only small downer is that there was a nice little river. There was a super narrow section. It was pretty wet and muddy. Just trying to kind of navigate through. And I definitely stepped into some mud that sank pretty substantially. So both feet wet and muddy. Left one way worse. But it's not that cold, so I'm not like worried about it. And these are nice wool socks, so I'm not gonna toss them. But yeah, another nice thing about this hike, I don't know if I mentioned this, but you don't need to bring that much water because every single water source here, you can just drink out of. Like every creek, every river, I just filled up at the last river. You can do this hike comfortably with like a 1.5 liter, like a tall thing of water. That's all you need. Which is not, I was originally gonna bring like 4 liters of water, and then I kind of read that and talked to the guide yesterday, and he's like, yeah, you just fill up everywhere. Fill up in the lake. I drank the lake water yesterday. Tasted good. The water tastes good. So that helps with weight. Ate the other half of my sandwich. These protein cookies are trash. New Zealand be better. But I still have some bars, some protein bars, and a couple more gummies. Legs feel pretty good. I mean, 8.5, what is that? I'm averaging 3 an hour right now. 2.5 hours. Done by like 3. I mean, that works. All right, officially 30 miles into this thing. Probably have 2 or 3 to go. Not sure why I thought it was 30. It's definitely 32 based on the map. But yeah, I feel pretty good overall. This is, haven't had too many 30 plus days in my life. Haven't had too many 6,000 plus vert days in my life. Can probably count each of those on one hand. So the fact that I'm feeling pretty good and my overall pace right now, including stops, which I haven't really stopped, which has helped. maybe quickly to eat, have a sandwich or something. My pace is like 19:48, so sub 20, which I feel great about. So not injured yet. A very beautiful hike, some great ridge hiking, some beautiful forest. A little bit of an adventure with some rain and wind, but yeah, I'm gonna finish strong here, last couple miles. Hopefully it's easy to hitchhike, or there's a shuttle for me for the to get back to where my car is, 6 miles up the road. All right, this bridge to Rainbow Reach officially will end my Kepler Track. Strava says I'm at 34.5, which means this is the longest hike or run of my life. And allegedly it's like 6,900 feet of gain. We'll see what Strava says. I'm still gonna need to catch a shuttle or a ride or something to my car, which is about 6 miles up. And actually the track along the river does look nice to get there, but I don't have 6 more miles in me. I mean, I feel pretty good. I don't feel injured, but I'm pretty tired and beat. So hopefully I don't see anything out here. It's not encouraging, but hopefully we'll see some people or a shuttle or something. Kepler was epic, believe the hype. Looking forward to a hot shower, laundry, and some fish and chips.